In this video, we're going to be looking at Keyonte George and what makes him such an amazing player for the NBA and his potential that he could bring to become an amazing, insane basketball player. Let's get down, let's check him out. But really quickly, if you want to be able to shoot the basketball better, make sure to go check out the hardest basketball shooting workout down in the description below. Okay, so really quickly, Keyonte George is able to hit really deep or pretty deep three-point shots coming off of a dribble handoff going towards his right side. That's actually very promising, and that's probably a good reason why he's a pro because, of course, going towards your right side as a right-handed player, you have to turn your whole body so that your right side is in front of your left. That way you can actually get your shoulder and elbow in line with the rim. This takes a lot of time and can get your shot blocked because it does take a couple of milliseconds longer than if you were to go towards the left side if you're a right-handed player. But he's still able to get the shot off, and it's still a very accurate shot. Keyonte George is also very good at reading offenses and reading defenses. So here he gets that wing-to-point pass, and this guy slips the screen. When he does that, because he notices that this man is playing over top, he's hedging too far, this guy is about to go over top of the screen, Key's wide open, Keyonte George was able to hit him with that pass, and it was a perfect pass for a dunk. So that was absolutely amazing. Now watch when he's going from the wing down towards the corner in this play. Now this is somewhat of a fast break, or at least transition basketball anyways. This man attacks the Key, which collapses two defenders on Keyonte George's side, and Keyonte George is able to then catch that ball. Watch, he's dipping as soon as he catches that ball, and he goes straight up with his shot. That ball is in line also, which is fantastic, and he's able to get this shot off quick enough and accurately enough to make that shot. The one thing I do notice is when he comes off of this dribble handoff and the screen, he passes the ball quickly to the opposite side of the court, and then that player is able to attack the basket and score. That gets Keyonte George an assist, but what makes this so important? Well, what we've seen so far is that he doesn't need the ball in his hand to be able to make offense for his team. What I mean by that is he's able to play off ball, gets that dribble handoff, and then he's able to be happy enough to make an assist. Now, this is very important because he's not going to be the man on his team who's going to be handling the ball most of the time. He's going to be playing off ball, and he's going to be in situations where it's near the end of the shot clock, and he's going to be coming off of a screen, and he needs to create offense for himself. He needs to be able to use off-ball screens as we've seen so far, and moving off-ball as we've seen into this corner for that three to be able to create offense quickly, but he's not going to be the man usually who's going to be having the ball 90% of the time in the offense, like let's say a LeBron James. So he needs to be able to create offense as we see right here. And this is what I mean. So watch where he cuts from here. He goes wing to corner. Somebody else has the ball. Because somebody else has that ball, he's moving off ball to get open. And this allows him to have an open shot. He's not going to be the focal point of their offense or his team's offense the first few years of him in the league. He needs to be able to create offense off ball, and that's going to allow him to get more time on court. Obviously, defense is going to help, but by playing great defense, by moving off ball, creating offense for yourself, but within the team's style, is going to allow him to get more time and potentially be in the future a number one, number two, maybe number three guy on his team. Here he again is off ball. This is the whole theme with a lot of young players in the NBA, and he's able to create offense for himself and also team just by quickly being able to shoot that three. He's a very good three-point shooter. And then when he does have the ability, or at least in the inside of the team's offense, to be able to drive to the basket, have the ball in his hands, he's got to be able to make that decision quickly once he gathers that ball side defender to kick it out. This is a read that I use in my team and David Quadio uses. He's one of the top players in Ontario. But if you are a guard and you're attacking the basket, there's three options you need to look at. You need to look for the cutter. You need to look for a man who's going to or cutting to the corner on the weak side, and you have to look for options on the strong side corner because you're obviously going in downhill in the direction of the basket. You can't see players behind you. What should be happening is what we see here. This guy should be cutting, this guy should be setting up, but this guy over here needs to be cutting down to the corner. that gives Keyonte George options. Instead of just having 2 options, he would have then 3 options to be able to pass the ball out if he doesn't have the angle or the ability to score. He knows that, he understands that, he kicks that ball out to the corner for the 3-point shot. And then when he does have the ball in his hands to create offense, if the offense is stagnated, which means that they're not moving, they're not necessarily running a play, he can take things into his own hands, especially with a shot clock that's starting to tick down, to be able to create a shot. Here he had the space and he pulled for the 3 and he made it. Now, in the Horns offense, they split into a 5, and then we have Keyonte George cut from the weak side wing. Now, really quickly, some fantastic reads that you can do off ball, as we see right here, is if you have a point to wing pass, if you're in the 5 out or a Horn split into a 5, you can have the other opposite side than the ball. That wing can cut to the basket. The same strategy can apply where if the ball goes from the wing to the corner, you can have a weak side wing cut. You can also have a man in the low post get that ball and the weak side wing cut. Wings are very important in basketball. In my opinion, as a coach, if you are a weak side wing, the first thing you should be thinking of is, what is my defender doing? Is my defender playing me on his heels? Is he paying attention to me? What's going on? Even this guy in the weak side corner, his man's not paying attention to him. He's looking this way. He could have cut baseline, and this guy's back is to that man as well, so he has no idea what's going on back here. There could have been lots of options, but Keyonte George was able to get that ball. This guy was smart, though. He was able to cut when Keyonte George got that ball. He collapsed a lot of defense, but Keyonte was able to finish. I hope that this video has given you some amazing tips that you can use in basketball. If it has, hit that like button and subscribe. Make sure to go check out my hardest basketball shooting workout down in the description below. It's going to be able to help you shoot the basketball from further away. And I'll see you guys again in my next video.